This is a solution to a very difficult integration by substitution question that somebody has sent me. It says, using the substitution, u squared equals x squared plus 4. Find the exact value of the integral between 0 and root 5 of x cubed over the square root of x squared plus 4. And that's integrated with respect to x. The first thing I would do in a question like this is I would call this thing I. This is my integral. It just makes it a wee bit easier when I refer to it later on. So that's what I've got to do. So the first thing for you to do is to use what you've got up here, your u. This is how u squared is equal to x squared plus 4. And we want to find what du by dx is. So we've got u squared equals x squared plus 4. That means u itself is x squared plus 4, and that's all to the power of a half. That just means square rooted. But we have it in this form, then you can differentiate it. So this is using a function of a function. So differentiate with respect to the power. The power comes out the front. Inside the bracket stays the same, and the power reduces by 1. Then differentiate inside the bracket. If you differentiate your x squared, you'll get 2x. Now tidy that up a wee bit. A half times 2x is just going to be x, and then that's x squared plus 4 to the minus a half. So I always tell my pupils, I imagine as if this dx is multiplying across, and obviously it's not multiplying, just multiplying across, so then put an integration sign around it as well. So you'll have the integral of du is equal to x upon x squared plus 4 to the power of minus a half. Now I'm just going to write that slightly differently. That's the same as x over x squared plus 4 and the square root of that. Okay, let's look back to what we've got here. We have shown that all of this on the right hand side, the integral of x over the square root of x squared plus 4, integrated with respect to x, all of that just becomes the integral of du. So we've massively simplified this expression. So let's look back at the original expression. Unfortunately, the original expression didn't just have x in the top line, it had x cubed. So so x cubed you can think of being x times x squared. So we've already sorted out the x bit of it. We need to sort out the x squared, and we also need to sort out the limits as well. So I'll just write that in. So we just need to sort out the x squared and the limits. So x squared equals what? Now we're told in the question that u squared was equal to x squared plus 4. A tiny wee bit of work and rearranging, you'll get x squared then is equal to u squared minus 4. Okay, so now we have sorted out everything. Basically, we've got we had x and the bottom line, and the dx became the integral, and the integral sign became the integral of du, and also x squared we'd sorted out, so we've got that up to x cubed now. We just are left to change your limits, so that's all we're left to do. So changing my limits, where are we? Remember, there's my conversion formula there. So 0, when x equals 0, if we put that into this up here, you're just going to get 0 squared plus 4. So you're going to get u squared equals 4 just. And that means u is equal to the square root of 4. So u is equal to 2. When x is equal to root 5, u squared would be root 5 squared and then plus 4. So that's just going to be 5 plus 4, which is 9. And the square root of that is 3. Okay, so we've changed our limits from 0 to root 5, go to 2 and 3. So that was our original integral we had to do. We've changed our limits, just changed our limits. We knew our integration and the square root of x squared on the bottom line, and x just, and the dx changed the integral of du, and we also changed the x squared up above. What do we change it to? To u squared minus 4. So this whole thing just becomes the integral from 2 to 3 of just, I've forgotten already, u squared minus 4. And that is integrated with respect to u. So to integrate, raise the power by 1, divide by the new power. That's it integrated, and now we just have to fire in our limits. So it's going to be 3 cubed over 3 minus 4 times 3, and the next one is going to be 2 cubed over 3 minus 4 times 2. And if you fire that into your calculator, you should get 2 1/3. And that is it, done. Difficult question. The big takeaway from this is this wee bit up here, getting your u in terms of x, and then you can differentiate differentiate your du by dx, and then do the wee conversion. That's a big bit that people will get wrong in a question like this. So there's your answer.